This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, the next day, I can't believe this is real. You're wrestling again. This time, you're back in Louisiana at the Cajun Dome. It's a 26-man, $26,000 Bunkhouse Stampede match. Darn it, you don't win.
Of course not.
A couple days later, you're at the Centroplex in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, doing TV, because why not? It's a worldwide taping here. And once again, you're going to find yourself involved in a Bunkhouse Stampede match. This time, 28 men, $28,000. Come the 9th, we're back on TV. It's WTBS, and we're going to do 2 tapings here, one that'll air on the 12th, one that'll air on the 19th. The episode that airs on the 19th has you and Tully beating Kendall Windham and Denny Brown. There's a little spot show ran at West Caldwell High School on December 10th. And then there's also a television taping happening at the Dorton Arena on December 10th. There's 4,000 fans there. And wouldn't you know it, another Bunkhouse Stampede. This one's won by Michael Hayes. I got to tell you, Arn, I don't know anything about being a wrestler, but all I've heard over the years is that battle royals suck. Bunch of kicks, bunch of punches, bunch of elbows, bunch of forearms. And then one by one, everybody bails out. Do you have any fun or favorite memories, anything positive you can share with us about a Bunkhouse Stampede, or did they all just suck?
They all pretty much suck.
Yeah.
You can't have 25 guys fighting in an enclosed space and have it be any more than what you just described safely.
Yeah.
You know, before you throw a punch and that elbow comes back, you better find out who's behind you. You're going to hit somebody in the back of the head. You're going to knock out somebody's teeth. Before you fall down, you better, if you can prevent it, look behind you and make sure you're not on the way down to blow somebody's knee out. There are more precautions you have to take if you're going to do one of those safely than there should be. It's just because it's such a confined space. And let's face it, getting chunked over the top, although it was a bigger bump then than it is now, it really is no big deal.
Right.
If you look at the athleticism in the industry now, just taking a big bump over the top, you know, at one point that was a big deal. Not only was it a disqualification, but in a Bunkhouse Stampede or a Battle Royal, that's the only way you could get eliminated. But they suck.
They suck. Yeah.
They suck. That's it.
Lots of different folks winning these, you know, Big Bubba won one. Lex Luger won one. Michael Hayes won one. Road Warrior Hawk won one. Road Warrior would win his in Baltimore. It's a matinee show on December 12th. That night, you're doing a TV taping in Greensboro. Process what we're talking about, guys. Baltimore is a matinee show. Greensboro is the night show. 2 big old arenas, 2 big old crowds. And here in Greensboro, it's Dusty and Nikita taking on Arn and Tully. They're going to go 9 minutes and 44 seconds before there is a disqualification. You're going to throw Koloff over the top rope. And then afterwards, Flair's going to run out, attack Nikita on the floor. Luger's going to then come running out and chase you backstage. Later that day, same set of TV tapings, but now it's going to be for pro. It's Tully and Arn beating Gary Royal and John Savage. You're going to get the win in a minute and a half with the Spine Buster and the Gourd Buster. And then afterwards, do some promos with Bob Caudle at ringside, just really dunking on Lex Luger. So we're trying to advance that storyline. The next day, a TV taping in Albany, Georgia is the matinee event. There's 4,000 fans here on December 13th. It's Dusty and Nikita taking on Arn and Tully. That night, you're in Cincinnati. It's Tully and Arn taking on Dusty and Nikita. They go to a draw here. And then it looks like there's a bit of a vacation. And I wondered how long you could keep this pace up. Because, again, I just want to run through the towns. December is just, you're shot out of a cannon. Monroe, Louisiana on the 1st. Miami Night Center on the 2nd. Atlanta on the 3rd. Alexandria on the 4th. Hampton, Virginia on the 4th. Lakeland, Florida on the 5th. Matinee on the 6th in Charlotte. That night, we're at the Omni on the 6th. And the 7th, we're at the Cajun Dome in Lafayette. We're also in Greenville, South Carolina, doing a TV taping in Baton Rouge on the 8th. Atlanta TV on the 9th. Spot show on the 10th at a high school in Lenoir. A TV taping in Raleigh on the 10th. And then Baltimore is a matinee show on the 12th, Greensboro on the 12th, Albany on the 13th, Cincinnati on the 13th. So many double shots. And I'm thinking, how long can they keep this pace up? And you guys kind of go dark from the 14th to Christmas Day. And there's a matinee show on Christmas, actually a couple of them, one in Greenville, one at the Coliseum, and then Christmas night at the Omni. This was pretty rare that you got a little downtime, but god dang, did you deserve it after running all those double shots. Is this just healing up? Are you trying to take a vacation with the kids? Or are you just going to go chill out at the house and veg out for a few days?
Everybody, I bet you across the board, just stayed home.
Yeah.
It was one of those rare occasions where everybody, I'm sure, think about this. What about the TV crew?
Yeah.
Having to do all that traveling besides the wrestlers.
Yeah.
There's only one way. I went through this in my mind 1,000 times, Conrad, because running back, doing the podcast with you and running back through that career and doing it day by day and week by week and month by month, it's almost humanly possible.
Yeah.
The only way it was possible is everybody was young. When you're in your 20s, you could pull stuff off athletically in any sport, I don't care what it is. Your 20s, you're peaked, and that's the only, we were all young and we're able just to run ourselves to death. And if you could get one 24-hour period of rest, it would patch you up to be able to go out and do it again.
Again, I want to be clear about what I'm fixing to say. I want to talk about these Christmas shows and we'll finish out the year, but I do want to ask, this schedule has wreaked a lot of havoc on a lot of individual guys and unfortunately their families as well, not just being away, but there becomes a time where guys need some sort of coping mechanism. Because let's be clear, we're not just traveling to these places. When we get there, we're falling down on hard surfaces over and over and over again. And I saw something years ago where they did some sort of science and they tried to break down exactly what sort of impact it was like when a guy took what wrestling fans and wrestlers might call a flat back bump. And they equated it to a 35-mile-an-hour car crash, that it had the same impact on your body as being in a car crash going 35 miles an hour. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not very fast. Next time you're in your car and you're going 35 miles an hour, imagine getting in a crash right then. Now imagine doing that 12 times a match. That's probably a low number if you're wrestling the Road Warriors. It might be 30. But the point is, you're going to do this twice a day in different towns, wake up in a different bed every night. It's a grueling schedule. But I've always been led to believe that a lot of the, for lack of a better word, the pill problem was created in the WWF, not Jim Crockett Promotions, not the other territories. That's not to say that they didn't have their own vices. Guys are blowing off steam with alcohol. Maybe they're drinking a little too much after the shows. Maybe they're having a few beers. Maybe they can keep it between the ditches or whatever. But it felt like once upon a time when the drug testing policy really changed in wrestling and people started to really crack down on that, that's when, well, this is okay because I have a prescription for it. And a lot of the problems that we lost a lot of wrestlers who were at their heyday in the 90s. And it feels like that was a policy change instituted by wrestling, where maybe they couldn't have those left-handed cigarettes anymore. But they can take this thing and this will do the trick. And I know in these days, or at least based on what I've heard, the territory days were mostly just alcohol. Did the prescription pill thing, did that really exist on a widespread level in the 80s? Or was that more, like I believe, more of a early to mid 90s thing that probably started when testing started?
100% 90s.
Okay.
80s, it was beer and booze.
Yeah.
When you're having to juggle schedules and realize where you are today and where you got to be tomorrow and drive, 300 miles to a show, wrestle 30 minutes and drive 300 miles back, you can't be all peeled up.
Yeah. There's
no way, and, not being a pill guy, I could see what it would do to you. It would, they're meant, pain pills are meant to take one, lay down, go sleep.
Yeah. Not function on it all day and operate heavy machinery.
Yeah, don't take one first thing in the morning, and then one at 2, and then one at 5, and then one at 11,
or a
and
handful ever.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and they were the scourge of our industry. They killed a lot of good people. I could see how easy it was to get hooked on them. Having a slow, which might have saved me, to be honest with you. I have such a slow metabolism. I mean, I've almost mastered the art like a horse. I could sleep standing up if I can just be still for a minute. I have that metabolism that it's easy for me to relax, which might have saved me because I remember once or twice taking one of something like so I could immediately go to sleep because we were getting in at 2 o'clock in the morning and we're having to leave again at 9 the next morning. Or we're going to be much time, so I'd take a Valium or something or whatever it was. And I'd be so hungover the next day that I just felt horrible.
Right.
Just had no threshold for it. So I never took them because I knew what they would do to me.
It's just it's such a shame because now, golly, marijuana is legal in like half the country. And we know, just CBD, how effective it can be. A lot of our listeners, myself included, they use CBD when they got a little ache or pain here or there. Maybe they need help getting to sleep. And that's totally legal and totally fine. But back then, man, you could get in trouble for that stuff. So guys turned to, well, I got a sheet of paper that says this is okay. And it's a shame because I don't know how we could expect guys to keep up this type of schedule, not like for a month, not like for a quarter, but for years. And in some cases, decades, and not feel like, hey man, they're going to need a little something. But that little something, man, some of those little somethings are more harmful than others. And it's a shame that it changed. And I'm hopeful that we're a lot better now. These days, the schedule is a lot more lax. These days, the laws are a lot more lax. And the less guys who are walking around with that extra jingle because of those pill bottles, probably the better. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I would. Yeah. And it was a dark time for our business and our industry. But let me tell you, it was in the time frame we're talking about now, man. It was tough. It was really tough. And it just was just by luck. And I'm going to be honest about this too. We had an unbelievable schedule and all that stuff, but we didn't take any of the high risk bumps that this generation of guys are doing now. I'm really worried about them. It's a whole nother subject, but I mean, even wrestling the Road Warriors, you were getting pounded, you were getting clotheslined, you were getting power slammed and all that, but you weren't doing moonsaults from the top rope out to the floor and hoping and praying that somebody's there to catch you. You know what I mean? So we protected ourselves as far as what we did recklessly or not recklessly during the match as best we could.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.